Friends and family, we're gathered here today in the presence of our Father God with Miguel Diaz and Victoria Brigadier to give thanks for the gift of marriage and to share in the joy of this wedding.
Right here on this ground where we are standing, holding dreams with open hands against the sky. So clear, it's better than we planned it. This rising sun was meant for you and I.
Marriage is a way of life given by God so that husband and wife may provide each other companionship, help, comfort, joy, and love. Marriage is a promise of love that endures all things. Marriage, therefore, is not to be entered into lightly, but for God's word, we are commanded to hold it in honor and a priority at all times.
Chasing down forever after.
Wow. You look absolutely stunning.
Thanks.
You look gorgeous.
It's so pretty.
You like
look
that?
handsome.
And it's my favorite cutter.
It's your favorite cutter.
You beautiful, honey. You are absolutely gorgeous. You ready for this?
Hug?
You ready for this? Yeah, excited?
Mm-hmm.
You've been planning this for a long time. Yeah, I love it. Absolutely love it.
This truth, these words that we have spoken, giving purpose to the hope that we have found.
Victoria, I love you with all my heart. I'm thankful to have found my soulmate, who does not hesitate to say yes to an ice cream date or fly to Brazil to meet my family without speaking Portuguese. In the past 3 years, we've experienced ups and downs together. You have stuck by me through the best and worst and loved all that I am. I love you dearly for all that you are. I am amazed by your curious mind and tickled by your sense of humor. I may not want to admit it, but I even love your awful puns. I vow to be your biggest fan and partner in crime. I vow to support family with you in a home filled with patience, love, and understanding. I vow to grow old with you. I will love you faithfully and unconditionally through difficult and easy times. What may come, I promise to always be there with love. As I have given my life to you, I love you now and forever.
Beauty lives in every chapter. We feel it now, and nothing could.
Oh my God. You're so beautiful. I'm already crying.
We made it.
I know.
We made it.
I know.
Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. Wow.
It is no secret that I am fond of a fairy tale kind of love, a happily ever after carved out so effortlessly between the pages of a storybook. I used to think that that is how...
I love you, baby.
Okay, it gets funnier. I used to think that that is how I would also fall into love. With return shoes, valiant rescues, and a cute, funny sidekick, but I would argue we have that with Ella. But instead of falling in love, like in a fairy tale, I have fallen in love with the way that you love me. And that is with kettles, kegs, and ketchup. Kettles, you care about the things that I care about. While your decor preferences might be described as sterile hotel room, a pink kettle did not fit into your ideal registry item. But seeing my face light up when I was looking at it, you decided right then and there we had to have it forever on our stove. Thank you for caring about the things I care about, big and small, for my big life dreams and pink kettles. Kegs, you care about the people I care about. I will never forget when my dad's third favorite child, the outside beer keg, was broken. You immediately jumped into action, and possibly for the free beer, but I knew it was more than that. You loved my dad and wanted to do something for him. You asked me where you could go to find the needed tools, and I said, Lowe's? Admittedly, I would be nervous going into any home improvement store, but you, having been in America less than a few weeks, went with determination in your eyes and love for my dad, took a week with a few trips back and forth to Lowe's, and by watching YouTube tutorials all week, you fixed it for my dad. Ketchup. Lastly, you care about my needs over yours. Whenever we sit down for a meal, if there are ketchup packets involved, and more often than not there are, before you start your meal, no matter how hungry you are or no matter how many hours it's been since we've ate, you take the time to open every ketchup packet for me and pour the ketchup into a pile before you start your meal. It's a small act, but to me it highlights everything you are and everything everyone else knows you to be, which is selfless and always taking care of my needs before yours. So in return, I vow to love you like soccer, saudades, and skiing. Soccer, I promise to care about the things you care about. The list is short, and it's all interrelated somehow to soccer. Saudades, I promise to care about the people you care about. One of the first words in Portuguese you taught me was saudades. The literal translation being missing, but it's used as a verb. I know we exchanged this word together almost every night, separated for 2 years, and now you have saudades for your family who can't be here today. I promise to care for them always. And skiing, I promise to care for your needs over mine. Contrary to what some may believe, if you have ever ridden a car with me, I do not like to go fast on smaller motorized vehicles. This includes jet skis. But I had secretly tucked away the knowledge for over 2 years that you'd never been and you wanted to go when you were in the States, and I made it my mission when we were in Florida to get you on a jet ski. I feared for my life once or twice, but I would do it all over again to see the pure joy radiating on your face. I promise to be your best friend, putting your needs and experiences above mine for this adventure of lifetime with you. So I promise to love you with all of my kettles, kegs, and ketchup. And to end, Ruth 1:16, where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God, my God.
You have come here before God and these witnesses, your friends and family, today to express your desire to be husband and wife. By the clasping of hands and the reciting of vows and the exchanging of rings, taking communion together, through these things you have shown your love and devotion to each other. I therefore pronounce you husband and wife. What God has joined together, let no person separate. Miguel, it's your chance. You can kiss your bride.
Yeah, you want to do it again? Okay.
Woo!
Hey Victoria, coming at you from Australia. Just wanted to say I am so proud of you. for all that you've done in your young life. I've been your biggest fan since we were kids, from when you were on Fast Cat Soccer and I tried to be an assistant to an assistant coach, just so I can watch you practice, to your high school games where I love cheering you on, visiting you while you were going to school in South Carolina, getting to meet Miguel a few years ago, helping, talking to him about his about the proposal and all of these amazing things. I've been cheering you on, and I'm just so happy that you were able to find someone who is absolutely amazing for you. Victoria, a lot of people have asked me, growing up with a little sister, if I was a protective older brother. And Mom and Dad might think that I was, and I sometimes like to think that I was. But often they would, when I would say that I was, they would say like, well, oh, so do you mess with her boyfriends or whatever? And the answer is no, I never really did. Because I always trusted you to make the best decision. I always knew that the guy you were with, you were going to be tough on him. You were never going to settle for anything less than exactly what you expected and exactly how you needed to be treated. So, as soon as you said that you loved Miguel and you thought that this might be the guy you were going to marry, I was sold immediately. So Victoria, I'm so happy for you. Have a great day. It's going to be one of the best days of your life. Remember it forever. Miguel, welcome to the family. I love you, brother, and I cannot wait to be back in the States and get to share some moments with you guys. It's been way too long. Have a great wedding.
Oi, Miguel. Oi, Vitória. Estamos aqui para brindar essa união. Então, nós desejamos a vocês toda a felicidade do mundo, que Deus venha abençoar vocês cada vez mais.
Oi, Miguel. Oi, Vitória. Nós mandamos um beijo aqui no Brasil para vocês. Desejamos que Deus abençoe esse casamento, essa união, e que vocês sejam muito felizes.
Saúde!
Hey, I want to first, by the way, I'm Jim. I'm Dodie's husband and Victoria's father. Yeah. Thank you. And I want to thank everybody for coming to Victoria and Miguel's wedding. This is very special, and I know there's so many out-of-town guests, and as the saying goes, it takes a village to raise Victoria. And so we really appreciate everybody bringing her up with us, because we couldn't do it alone, and we certainly couldn't do it in college. So to all the USC folks that help Victoria, yeah, we know she doesn't stress on tests at all. Now, here's the cool thing, and just so you know, keep your booze down when I do say this. We do have 2 Clemson people in the audience. Keep it down, keep it down. They're people too. They are people too, Mason and Sean. And we all know it's about women's basketball, and y'all suck. Now, here's how you know that Victoria and Miguel are destined for a great marriage. Because you know when your pastor is a Gamecock. Right here. From Greenville, South Carolina, Pastor Jonathan, Gamecock fan extraordinaire, Garnet and Black. That's right, going all the way. So it's going to be a great wedding tomorrow. Now, I know this doesn't feel like St. Kitts, but imagine there's a beach out here. Okay? There's palm trees, and we're being served little fruity cocktails. Okay, so it's Rudy's. But here's the thing about Rudy's. Here's the thing about Rudy's. I'm not that, well, I shouldn't say cheap, but I mean, here's the deal. No, here's the deal with Rudy's. This actually has a special place in our hearts because we've been here in Frisco for 18 years. Victoria's 23, so we moved here when she was 5.5. And this is the place where she would come often before soccer practice and on weekends. She always wanted to come to Rudy's and get little breakfast burritos. And either Dodie or I would take her, or one of us would take her before she could drive. And even once she got her pink bug, she would come here often because behind here are soccer fields that were built in 2004. It hosts the Men's and Women's National Soccer Hall of Fame, 17 soccer fields, state-of-the-art, a professional soccer team, and she played a lot of her games over here. And so before the games, after the games, Not during the games, I don't think, but she'd come here and she'd grab Rudy's. And this is a place that, it was a place we hung out and had some meals. So it also is across the street from her rival high school, Wakeland, where where's Daly? Daly's over here. Where Daly went to school and Jake went to school right over here is Wakeland High. And by the way, almost everything you see did not exist when we moved here 18 years ago. One high school, now we've got 11 in the city. So it's really grown, and I appreciate everybody who's not from Texas to come here and see what it's all about, and see where Victoria, which is a little girl with socks up to here, all dirty face and all, before she became a princess. Usually it works the other way. You're a princess and you kind of grow into something a little bit more aggressive, but she was aggressive and then grew into become a princess, and now she won't get her ass on the soccer field at all. I don't know how she used to die, but she was quite the player. And so she meets Miguel, whose first love, I mean, it's a toss-up. I know you love Victoria first and foremost, but if you see when soccer is played in our house, the guy gets so excited. Like, I mean, it's crazy. In fact, we went to a Brazil soccer game about, a week and a half ago? Yeah, 2 weeks ago, and we got all Brazilian shirts and rooted on our favorite second team and everything. But it was awesome. We had a great time. So soccer is definitely a love. And before, as the father of the bride, I'm going to say a few words about Victoria, but before I do, let me just say this. Everybody's had a chance to meet Miguel, and if you don't know, he works in the same company that I work in. And everybody loves Miguel. They've got a lot of great things to say about him. But when you think about it, just for the record, Miguel, Brazil's a mess right now when it comes to COVID, if you're not aware. So usually the father of the bride stands up, but there's a father of the groom and a family and friends of the groom. Miguel's by himself from Brazil because nobody in Brazil can travel, right? So to get to the U.S., he didn't come across the border like you see on TV. Oh, sorry, that was political. And we didn't find him, stranded on the border, pulled him off the wall, and brought him up to Frisco. Actually, he had to quarantine, and to get here, he had to quarantine in Mexico for 2 weeks. So I would say love has no boundary, love has no geography. There's no stopping anything from getting in the way of true love. Now, Miguel says he'll do anything for Victoria, but just for the record, I've been married 27 years, and I remember us saying our vows, Dodie, and I said, I'm a Marine, you're going to have to follow me around where my duty stations are, and she says, I'll follow you anywhere you want to go. I'll follow you anywhere on the planet. You fast forward, I've had interviews, she's like, Minneapolis? I ain't going to Minneapolis. Seattle, are you kidding me? That was a quote, are you kidding me? Seattle. And I interviewed in D.C., she's like, yeah, have fun. So, a lot of the vows you take tomorrow may in fact change over the years. But nonetheless, Miguel comes from a great family. He's a hard worker. He's incredibly bright. If you talk to him, he doesn't just have command of the English language and Portuguese and Spanish, but he knows all the isms here. He knows the slang, and he knows football better than most of you, right? So it's pretty neat to have a son-in-law as Miguel, and also, just so you know, his dad was intubated with COVID for 6 weeks. He lost 50 pounds almost, and we didn't think he was going to make it. This just cleared about 4 weeks ago. So if you want to know what this man's been through, we had a wedding planned last summer. He couldn't come to the U.S. He finally got here via Mexico. His father almost died. His mother had COVID. His other family members had COVID. And this kid's getting through all this. So he's resilient. Just like Victoria, they're going to make a great couple. So I'm real proud to have you guys.